Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Fall is fast approaching, and so I thought I would share with you my top 10 luxury picks for fall. So these are fragrances that I've been excited to wear. Some of them are newer to my collection, and I got them more in the spring and summer. So now I'm excited to pull them out and start wearing them. So I can't wait to share this selection with you. And even though a lot of them are luxury, some of them are actually pretty affordable, kind of in the designer range price points or even a little bit lower. So I can't wait to share these with you. But before I get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button, join the Weird and Wonderful family. It would be amazing to have you part of the community, and let's get into this. I'm definitely going to be doing a Middle Eastern top 10 for fall too. And I may do one for designer as well. We'll see. I think I have less designer than anything in my collection currently. So I'm going to start with the more luxury or niche ones. Like I said, there are a few that are actually well under $100. So keep that in mind when you're hearing the term luxury. It doesn't necessarily mean price point. Sometimes it does, but some of the niche brands actually have half decent prices on them that match or are better than designer fragrances. So the first fragrance that I want to share with you is Empathy from the House of Oud, or Thu. It seems like they're saying Thu these days. I don't like the word Thu. I don't know why, but it kind of bugs me. So I want to call it the House of Oud, even though this really doesn't have a whole lot of an oudy feel. It's a gorgeous raspberry tobacco. I love raspberry. I love tobacco. So for me, this is a no-brainer. Now, just so that you know, if you haven't ever seen these bottles, the base is really, really heavy. And then these eggs are hand-painted. And look at how beautiful that is. Like, it's such a stunning bottle for your vanity. But this fragrance is definitely not for everybody because it is raspberry and tobacco, but somehow for me it just works and it feels so comforting, but it still gives me that zinginess from a raspberry, and I love the depth of the tobacco. The stars of the show for this, there's quite a few notes, but the stars in this one are definitely the raspberry, the tobacco. There's a little bit of oud, but it smells very very non-distinct, more like a woodiness is what comes out rather than like a traditional oud feel. The tobacco is like a sweet, fruity tobacco, but yeah, something about it, it just feels cozy. It feels comforting, but at the same time, a little bit happy because of that raspberry. So I just find this fragrance to be really, really enjoyable. And especially as we head into a little bit cooler weather, this is going to be so gorgeous. The next fragrance that I am totally craving for the fall, and I was kind of shocked about this one because I haven't actually worn it very much, but I can't stop thinking about it. And it is Montale's Intense Cafe. I have the 50 ml bottle, and to be honest, these bottles are my least favorite bottles, honestly. The 50 ml especially just looks like a little canister. I do like the fact that I can do this for whatever reason. That makes me happy. Whoa, the fragrance inside, I get it. It's mainly a rose fragrance. So it's rose with what feels like powdered sugar and a little bit of creamer with a tiny bit of coffee. So kind of a milkier coffee and lots of sweet, sweet, sweet sugary rose. So it's more rose than it is coffee. Intense Cafe is kind of a weird name for it. That said, on the skin, you get this delicious sweetened rose with some depth that I attribute to the coffee feel, but it doesn't feel really coffee, if that makes sense. So I always think about going to a gorgeous coffee shop and there's a rose that's just opened up and it's delicious and you're drinking a super, super sweet, creamy latte. That would be kind of the feel, but it's more rose than anything. I find this to be uber cozy and really quite addictive smelling. So love it. People either love it or hate it. I happen to love it Doesn't have near as much coffee in it as I had hoped, but I really enjoy wearing this one. And so it's definitely one of the first ones that I'm going to reach for as the weather starts to get a little bit cooler. Right now it's still really hot, but as the weather gets cooler, this one is going to be one of the first ones I put on. I'm so excited. And I just think about bundling up and the fall leaves with a scarf on, and this is the fragrance I want to wear. The next one is from Sora Dora, and it is called Red. Now, this one has lots of notes that could lean towards something that you would wear in the summer. So for notes that are kind of more summery feeling, there's coconut, there's tiare, frangipani, and ylang ylang. So lots of kind of summer tropical florals with coconut. But as well as that, you get cardamom, pink pepper, there's some orange, hazelnut, nutmeg, fig, there's cloves in here, there's caramel and sandalwood and kind of woody notes in general. This smells so delicious. I don't really have, I don't really even know how to describe this. I definitely get a lot of that cardamom and that spice mixed with caramel. I believe that Sora Dora has the best caramel on the market. So they have caramel in a lot of their fragrances, and I absolutely love it. This one feels warm and sensual. As you can see, there's a huge dent out of this one, and it's mainly because of my son, because he wears this one so much. So he loves this one. He also loves, it's a Prada one. I can't remember. I've featured it before on the channel, but it is such a great fragrance that's much more masculine leaning, but he mixes the two and it really works. So anyway, this fragrance is gorgeous. It really projects for the first half hour, and then it sits a little bit closer to the skin. But yeah, smells sensual, it smells addictive, it smells slightly cozy and spiced and smooth, and I love it. Now, this next one is one of the more affordable ones on this list, and it's by Neydo, and it's Strawberry Blonde. Now, these, I think they retail for 86 euros, and I have a 10% off coupon code as well. I'll have everything linked down below, including which coupon codes work at what sites. So the way I do it is I'll have the fragrance listed. If I have a coupon code, I list it with the fragrance name, and then underneath that is the link that you can use. This one, for whatever reason, it's warm, sweet, and spicy. It's very, very sweet, honestly. And it gives me the vibes of strawberries, but more like a strawberry crumble with some spices in it. But this doesn't have any strawberry at all. I might have called this Strawberry Blonde. If I did, I'm wrong. It's Blonde Redhead. Because of the color of the bottle, because I always think strawberry, I instantly think Strawberry Blonde, and plus Blonde Redhead makes me think Strawberry Blonde. So it's very confusing to me, and I'm terrible with names, but this is Blonde Redhead. These are the notes. It has saffron, orange, and lime in the opening. In the heart, it has dates, fig nectar, freesia, and rose. And the base is vanilla, white tobacco, chocolate, myrrh, and driftwood. So this, to me, is very sweet, but it's also warm and spicy. So as this sits on the skin, it starts to warm up and there's some spiciness. Again, it feels a little bit cozy, but it stays like quite sweet. This one lasts a long time on the skin, like a good 7-8 hours. The projection is decent, at least in the beginning. And I just really enjoy this one. I don't really get any florals in this. I get mainly, like I said, almost like a strawberry crumble with, I guess, some warm florals. So to me, white tobacco translates to almost like a humid feeling air. So in Sunshine Woman by Amouage, white tobacco is there, same feeling. It feels almost like wood that's gotten wet and it's drying in the sun, and you know how that can smell sweet and almost humid. That's the vibe that this gives me. So I just really enjoy it. Again, I find it really cozy, and yet it is nice and sweet. So very delicious, very comforting somehow. And especially as it starts to get a little cooler, I want something that's comforting, because I do not want the cold weather. At this point in life, I want warm all the time. Maybe if I lived somewhere warm, I wouldn't want that, but we get really cold here in Edmonton. So anyway, really, really enjoy this one, and it's a decent price. The next one always is in the list for fall, always will be, and it is Lira by Xerjoff. This is part of the Casmerati line. It's got, I think, orange, and I think it's got some lavender in here, but to me, it comes across as somehow a spiced lemon pound cake with a lemon drizzle icing on top. So kind of almost like the Starbucks lemon pound cake, but a little bit more spiciness to it. It's warm, it's sweet, it's decadent and delicious, and it's just mouth-watering. And I just so enjoy wearing this one, so had to include it. The next one is one that I got, I think in the wintertime, just before Christmas, and it is called El Born by Carner, Barcelona. This is such a gorgeous kind of muted, smooth, piney fragrance. It smells like balsam, but like the sap has come out of the tree, and it's a little bit resinous and sweet and almost incensey feeling. That's the vibe in this, and it feels like there's vanilla. I'm gonna look at the notes because I can't remember what's in this one. Yes, there's honey in this one. So it's definitely honeyed. There's some lemon, there's angelica, benzoin fig, heliotrope, jasmine, vanilla, balsam, sandalwood, and musk. I definitely get the balsam, and you know, the idea of it like drying and kind of getting sweeter. That's the honey that's coming out. This is gorgeous. The honey's not too animalic, super sophisticated, but rich smelling. It's sweet, but even though it's super duper sweet, because of the balsam and the benzoin and some of those things, it's tempered. Just gorgeous. Like, this is a fragrance, again, I think of putting this on a little bit of a crisper day. You've got a sweater on, maybe a scarf, you go for a walk, and you just smell glorious. This one smells really natural smelling. It almost smells as if you'd smell this somehow in nature, but like maybe in some sort of fairy world where you come along some woodland creatures and they just naturally smell like this. That's the vibe that it gives. So gorgeous, sophisticated, elegant, but also uber cozy. Another one that's uber affordable is Caramel Oud by Theodoros. I think this is €45, 45 US. Like I said, everything will be linked down below. This is a gorgeous caramel oud, and it's definitely oudy or woody feeling. There's some saffron in here and some toffee as well. So although the caramel is in here, there's enough woodiness that it doesn't feel like a straight up gourmand. But again, I find this one so rich and cozy. It's decadent. It almost smells as if, like, have you ever smelled the Chinese 5-star spice? It smells almost as if there's something spicy-ish in there, which I think is probably the saffron. The oud doesn't smell like a rich, thick oud. It's more of a light take on oud. It smells a little bit more just woody than oudy. And then again, because of that caramel, it tempers the oud feel. I think the thing with oud is I find oud to smell kind of naturally. Either it'll go barnyardy, so a little bit animalic, or kind of a sweetness to it that almost smells tobacco-like. Or of course, just a tempered down oud smells a little bit more woody than anything, which is what I get in this one. But I really enjoy wearing this one, especially in the evenings. If I want to put something on that's snuggle worthy, this would be the one that I would reach for sure. And honestly, this is another one I find really comforting. So really enjoy this one. Now for a more opulent fragrance, I chose Silver Saffron by Nuit Nomade. First of all, the bottle is just gorgeous. Like, it's such a beautiful bottle. And although it looks opaque on the screen, it's actually see-through, and it's a beautiful, like, really dark midnight blue. This is so beautiful. This is very, like, a lot of these fragrances are quite unisex, but this one especially, I can see some women finding it too unisex. I think it is glorious. It actually smells to me like there's rose in here, but there is no rose. There is saffron, raspberry, myrrh, papyrus, and iris. I definitely get a good dose of that iris, but honestly, it comes across a little bit violety to me. I find iris to feel more powdery than violet for some reason, but this is so beautiful. It's spicy. It smells almost a little bit tobacco-like. I feel like there's rose in there, even though it's not noted. It feels kind of like that. The iris or violet component to it kind of makes it feel a little bit colder. I love the fact that silver is in there. The word silver is in there with the saffron. And of course there is saffron in this. I don't know what it is about this one, but I find this so sophisticated and elegant. It smells rich. It smells very expensive and luxe and very smooth. So it's the most smooth, kind of understated, elegant fragrance that's perfect for fall. So absolutely love this one. Just simply genius. All the ones that are coming in these extrait bottles, I love all of them. So I am going to be sharing them throughout the colder months because they're so gorgeous. But this one, I so enjoy wearing it. Lasts a long time on the skin. And again, elegant and sophisticated all the way. I've got two more for you. I always have to have some sort of cherry fragrance for the fall. And so for my niche one, and again, these can be very affordable, is from Olfactive Studio, and it is called Close Up. This is one of the best cherry fragrances that I've smelled. In my opinion, this is way better than Lost Cherry. It's a little more complex, longer lasting. This came out before Lost Cherry, so it's kind of like the first of its kind. We always compare everything to Lost Cherry, but I would say that this is closer. So this does have kind of that boozy cherry. Lost Cherry has a lot of that almond or amaretto feel, whereas this one instead has some spices and some coffee in here. And the coffee kind of lends a little bit of a deeper, darker, almost bitter vibe. So like a black coffee with cherry. There's also kind of a tobacco-y vibe along with things like tonka bean, amber, cedar. There's some rose in here. I just think it's gorgeous. Some people find this to be a little bit animalic. I get where they're coming from. I think it may be the cedar because there's nothing in here that would indicate animalics coming out, but sometimes woodiness or a mixture of notes can almost feel a little bit barnyardy. I don't think this feels barnyardy, but there is an animalic quality to this that just makes it uber sexy. It's not too much. I don't think that this is too animalic by any means. This is uber sexy. It's sensual. It's addictive. It's intoxicating. And as far as cherry fragrances for the fall, this is definitely my pick above everything else. This is amazing. Now, last but not least is a fragrance by the different company called Majaïna. I think it may be Majaïna. If someone knows, tell me and I'll try to remember. I'm terrible with this kind of thing. But anyway, Majaïna Sin. So why do they have to pick such hard names? But this fragrance is amazing. Like seriously, it's so gorgeous and easy to wear. Like this, as far as spiciness and deliciousness, like, oh, it's so gorgeous. I got to read you the notes. It has bitter orange, orange blossom, ginger, neroli, and bergamot. In the top, in the heart, it has chestnut, cinnamon, heliotrope, and orchid. And the base is vanilla, tonka bean, amber, and sandalwood. Yes, please. Like seriously, I can see this being the fragrance that I reach for the most because it's ambery, it's vanillic, there's spiciness in it. It almost feels like a gingerbread tea with that cinnamon and the ginger and the chestnut. Just think gingerbread tea is kind of the vibe that this gives. It's sweet, it's sophisticated. There's a lot going on in here. So I think it's quite complex and it just smells, it's just spectacular. Like it's kind of like a work of art. It's warm, it's sensual, it's got enough going on in the top with the ginger and the orange that it keeps it kind of zingy and not get too heavy or warm. So it stays almost delicate feeling, and yet it's got this delicious kind of, it just envelopes you in warmth and spices. So absolutely love this fragrance. The different company I had never even heard of. I think it's kind of underrated, but it's been around forever. So love, love, love this fragrance. Can't wait to try more fragrances from this this house, but this fragrance definitely worth checking out. And that is it. Those are the 10 fragrances that I'm most excited to wear for the fall. So many fragrances to choose from, so many amazing options for us these days. So what about you? What is it that you're really excited to try on? I would love to know what they are. And other than that, have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.